of Management and Budget. From 1998 through January 2007, Ms. Dudley served at the Mercator Center at George Mason University, where she directed the Regulatory Studies program from 2003 to 2006. Welcome, and we look forward to your testimony.
Thank you for inviting me, Chairman Gonzalez and Ranking Member Westmoreland. I appreciate the opportunity to discuss the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs, or OIRA, as we call it, our efforts to ensure that the federal government understands the impact of regulations on small businesses, considers cost-effective regulatory alternatives for small businesses, and looks for ways to reform regulations to lower burdens on small business without sacrificing important public protections. Small entrepreneurs are the engine of economic growth in America. They represent over 99% of employers and provide 60 to 80% of net new jobs. Yet, as you pointed out in your opening remarks, Mr. Chairman, they bear disproportionate regulatory and paperwork burdens. OIRA, along with SBA's Office of Advocacy and other federal regulatory agencies, is working both to minimize unnecessary burdens and also to help America's small businesses comply with regulatory and reporting requirements. Since OMB began to keep records in 1981, federal agencies have published over 120,000 federal rules in the Federal Register. Operating under Executive Order 12866, which was issued by President Clinton in 1993, OIRA coordinates interagency review of the most significant of these rules prior to publication. We estimate that the average yearly cost of the new major regulations issued between 2001 and 2006 is about 47% less than over the previous 20 years, and yet the average yearly net benefits of new regulation has increased substantially. While we're working to ensure that new regulations are cost-effective based on projections of what their impacts will be, most existing federal rules have never been systematically evaluated to understand their actual benefits and costs. Given the number of existing regulations on the books, it would be valuable to understand which of them are working as intended and which could benefit from reform. One tool to do this is Section 610 of the Reg Flex Act, as you both have discussed. The Office of Advocacy's recent guidance to agencies on conducting 610 analyses should make this promising tool more valuable. The comprehensive approach envisioned by Section 610 has advantages, but it also may not target regulations in most need of reform. In some cases, businesses and consumers have adjusted to regulations that have been in place such that they're no longer binding. In an effort to identify regulations most in need of reform, both OIRA and the Office of Advocacy have solicited nominations from the public for regulations that are unduly burdensome, outdated, or have resulted in unintended consequences. In response to our 2004 request for nominations, the public made 189 recommendations focusing on regulations that largely affect the manufacturing sector. Working with the relevant agencies, the Office of Advocacy and the Department of Commerce, we selected 76 of these for priority consideration and action. To date, agencies have completed approximately 70% of the 2004 manufacturing reforms, and we plan on providing a comprehensive update on the status of these reforms in our 2008 draft report to Congress. We've also followed with interest the Office of Advocacy's R3 initiative, which I'm sure Tom Sullivan will talk more about. Several of Advocacy's top 10 are similar to nominations OIRA has received, and we're working together with agencies to pursue these reforms. OIRA also has authority under the Paperwork Reduction Act and the Small Business Paperwork Relief Act to reduce existing burdens on small businesses. These statutes give OIRA and agencies responsibility for eliminating unnecessary, duplicative, and unjustified paperwork burdens, particularly on small entities. In addition to seeking public comment and OMB approval of initial collection of information, agencies must seek and obtain extensions of OMB approval at least once every 3 years. This provides a vehicle for ensuring that existing paperwork burdens are re-examined on a regular basis. Finally, let me note several eGov initiatives that, while not reducing the number of regulations and paperwork burdens on small businesses, are designed to simplify and streamline compliance. Business.gov is a one-stop shop where businesses can locate the government compliance guides and forms they deal with on a regular basis, thereby reducing the effort needed to comply with government regulations. Business owners have self-reported saving over 3 million hours so far this year alone by using this portal. The Business Gateway Initiative also promotes data harmonization to reduce the complexity of reporting processes and improve the reuse and distribution of information across federal, state, and local agencies. And we plan to release a comprehensive analysis, including several case studies, shortly by mid-August. Thank you.